Good evening. I know that you're normally, sorry, my audio's way off here. I don't know what's up. I know you're normally used to seeing me right now. I switched over to the studio, and you're used to seeing me. But I wanted to take a second. Oops. I didn't know it was still playing. I wanted to take a second. Well, I wanted to try to take a second and pause on this photo. Okay? Take a good look at that. That picture was taken in 2013. That is myself. That is my 3 sons. That is the last time that I have been together with my 3 kids. 2013. 2013. Now, when I started this news show, I said that this show was not going to be about me. It was about the news. And in fact, I loathed every news source that I turned on that I had to hear more about somebody's opinion than what I did actual valuable information. I saw a huge problem there. Unfortunately, I guess once in a while the two things have to meld. I'm going to have a little chat, cover a few different areas of my life. First off, I'm going to start off, I was in my young 20s, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I crossed over the 20 barrier at the time. Been a while ago. I was a supervisor at a truck wash overnight. And I got called in to duty. The other supervisor, he called in sick, so I got called into work. So, in order for me to be able to, perform my duties, I had to stop by and pick up the time cards that I don't know if he was assistant manager at the time, I think he was. But anyway, a guy I went to high school with, he had all the time cards because he had to do all the figuring out. He had my time card because, well, I was off, supposedly. So, I went to the bar where he was at and promptly picked up my time card from him. And while I was in there, somebody that I never could really see eye to eye with, not for any real reason, just stupid high school bullshit, happened to be in the bar. So he decided that was a good time to start shit with me. Well, I had a so-called friend step in between me and this character. I had a wall. I was up against a wall. I could not go anywhere. This so-called friend was literally smack dab up on my chest. And while he's trying to protect me, old boy is just reaching right over the top of his shoulder and doing one of those numbers. Now, it didn't amount to anything because it was one of those numbers. But I learned real quick, that, by the way, was the only time in my life that anybody's ever defended me. Holy shit. Nah, it's not a joke. I learned that night, and throughout my entire life afterwards, that if I was going to be defended, I damn well better do it myself. And it's been that way my entire life. Whatever, is what it is. Fast forward. Fast forward back to 2013, 2014. I'd be an absolute liar if I told you I had my shit together, because I didn't. I was so screwed up as a man, as a human being, it was impossible. I was married. I was married. We were living with my girlfriend. Okay? It was a messed up situation. And all I can do is own up to my part of it. That's all I can do. And I'm more than willing to do that. Why? Because repentance is important to me. Because I know my only way home is to be honest. Well, in 2014, my life was overturned. Upside down. I had a lifetime of hard work that was put into goods, whether it be tools, whether it be equipment, whatever it was, my toys, whatever. A lifetime of stuff. And that was all overturned in a single night. And I lost everything, and I've told this story before. Jen knows it to be true. I walked out of my entire life with a duffel bag, a medium-sized Alice pack, and a computer tower. That's it. The very computer that Jen's on right now. The very computer that she's on right now. We don't have a lot. We don't. But I have absolutely busted my ass in any way that I could to be able to get us to this point where we are. And I want to be absolutely clear about something. Because, you know, I'm not a fan of surprises. I think people should know. I think they should stare down exactly what they're looking at. I fought hard to build what we have here. Hard. I can't do it again. I do not have it in me to do this again, to build again. I don't. So when you get an urge to get your dick wet, you want to think about overturning my life. Because it will fucking come with consequences. That is my promise. It will come with consequences. So take your little hard dick and move on. If I see you, if I even hear your name, you are fucked. Am I perfectly clear, Scott? Perfectly clear. I've got a playlist I just started. You might want to take a look through that playlist and know the person you're fucking with. I spent the last 24 hours enraged to the point that I couldn't focus and do my daily duties that I do every single day. And who does that rob besides me? Because this isn't about me. That robs the people that come here to this show. Because now I'm not as prepared as what I normally would be, because I didn't sit there and take in all the information that I normally would have throughout the day. I've done a lot of dumb things over my dick. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not afraid to admit it, not for a second. Why? Again, repentance is important to me. The only way that I can get to the Father is by being brutally honest, and that includes with myself. And it can't stop there. I have to be brutally honest with anybody that I come in contact with. I can't go lying about myself. I can't go lying about other people. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. But I know right from wrong. I know I'm not naive. I don't know why people would think I'm naive, but I'm not. There's a 10-ton load of things I know about that I never let on. I'm telling you, you can take this advice or not, but a stiff dick will get you in trouble. That's something my dad told me I don't know how many times, and I didn't listen. And I've got one hell of a life I made for myself as a result of that. That's my fault. That's on me. I wished I could do it over. I wished I could have listened to my dad. I wished I could have saved a lot of heartache. I wished I could have saved a lot of stuff. I wished I could still be in contact with these incredible young men. But because of people that want to play games, I haven't seen them. And won't. Unless they make the choice to seek me out. My advice is you might want to get to know a man before you cross him. I'm sorry, but I can't spend another day pissed off and not properly defending myself, properly setting the table. It's set. It's up to you. But you don't know what I know, do you? No, you don't. A whole hell of a lot of things in life worth a whole hell of a lot more than taking that next step, buddy. Anyway, my apologies. I shouldn't have to do that. That should have been taken care of. Now on to news. I do feel better. I do feel a little cleared out now. So there's a lot of talk right now, and I know people are going to want me to talk on what I titled the show after. I feel like I rob you if I don't. You know, I feel like I'm just using it for clickbait, and that's clearly not what I want to do. But, hang on. I had to read what I titled the show. I couldn't even remember exactly. So there's a lot of talk about this weather system that's going across the United States. There's a lot of talk about the weather system that just, what was it? Do you remember? Dumped snow on Moscow? Or cold? Something. I don't know. There was something within the last couple of days about Moscow and extreme weather. And yeah, I could easily entertain the argument of, oh yeah, it's weather wars. They're weather warring each other. That's not it. I will stand behind what I have been saying for over a decade now, actually. I think I'm the only one saying it. Weather modification is a very real thing, and if you don't believe so, just type it in Google and look at all the companies that come up that do it. Kind of strange, so many companies doing something that doesn't exist. But I think a lot of people think that it's being used as a weapon, and I get it. I get why people would have that idea. I mean, I completely get it. And I'm not saying it's never been used as a weapon. I'm not even going there. What I am saying is these cycles that we are currently experiencing, and they're like almost cycles within cycles. 1 second. They're like cycles within cycles. And so the thing is, I'm going to try to explain this the best way I can without props. Although I could probably find some props. Actually, kind of looking, that would make it easy. I need a ball. I need a ball. And I ain't going to whip one out. So, just work with me here. So, you've got the earth that's round, oblong. Oblong, it's roundish, okay? Not flat. You've got the earth, and it's round. And you know about the axis. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but you know about the axis. You know that the earth does not sit 90 degrees on its axis. There's a tilt, okay? That tilt is what is responsible for our winter, summer seasons, okay? That tilt is responsible for our seasons. Well, there's a problem when not only that you have the tilt, the natural tilt of the earth to contend with, but, and you can Google this, the earth is in its biggest wobble in recorded history. So now you've got an earth, and I'm showing you a cross section kind of here, the poles, right? Now you've got an earth that normally is situated like this. And the problem is, the earth don't re-tilt. What happens is it goes around the sun, and depending on where it's at around the sun, depends on how much of that tilt, you could figure it out. That's why I wanted a ball to be able to show you. But not only do you have your tilt, and I know I'm making it kind of exaggerated for a reason, but not only do you have that tilt, but now you have an earth that's doing this on a level that's never been before in recorded history. It's happened before. Pole shifts happened before. So what that's going to do is that's going to throw all your weather systems off. I believe that is only part of what has taken out, say, things like the jet stream, the Gulf Air jet stream. There are several jet streams, if you will, air streams that went across the United States and other places. Some of them are dead. They, don't exist anymore. There used to be something called the wind map. Let me see if I can bring that up. I used to have it linked on the old website. Let me see if I can bring up that wind map. And, yeah, I think is it this? Let me see if I can bring it up. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, global map. That's what I wanted. This is it. This is it. Okay. So, let me bring this in. And bring you guys along. And I want to show you something. So, it used to be in the United States, and now they're starting to come in, you can see that. It used to be in the United States, and I don't know the actual names of the individual streams. That's funny. That's what I was looking at. Click your back button. On the left. Anyway, Anyway, Jen's on Amazon and it's catching my eye. Anyway, so there used to be a jet stream that was right up here, pretty much border of U.S. and Canada, and it would traverse across the country from the east to the west, right? And then there would be another jet stream that would come down the east coast, right? And, I mean, it would come all the way down to Florida. And do you see those by any chance? Because I don't. I don't. One of them would have been up here, and it would go all the way across the country, from one ocean to the other. Pretty much. I mean, it would kind of cut into the U.S. But then the other one would come down the east coast and hug the east coast all the way down Florida. They're not there. They haven't been there for years. That is one of the major factors that has changed the weather in the United States and elsewhere. Now, of course, we could get into a bunch of other things about the increase of energy hitting the Earth because the weakening magnetosphere. We could go into all kinds of discussions as to why the weather is wacky. But it all comes down to the same thing, and that's pole shift. All comes down to the very, very same thing. So I want folks to know that all of this stuff about, weather wars and all that, it's nonsense. I have been watching this for a long time, and I didn't finish my statement about that. I'm going to now. I've been watching weather since I was in high school. Well, actually before then, but I became infatuated with storms, tornadoes, stuff like that. Not infatuated, but heavily interested as one could be without signing up for meteorology school. And so I've been watching this for a very, very, very long time because I was storm chasing as soon as I had a license. And what they are doing with all their equipment, with their, whatever you want to call them, the geoengineering, the chemtrails, whatever, all that stuff, including the antenna arrays and everything involved in what we now know as weather modification. I've been saying this for over a decade, and I'm going to say it again. They aren't trying to tear apart the weather. They're trying to keep it together. They're trying to hide the effects of pole shift for as long as they can, because if they don't, people are going to start asking some questions. I firmly believe, and I have been saying this for 2-3 years, so it is what it is. My timing is terrible. My timing is horrible. If I tell you something, is going to be in 2 weeks, it might be a month, 2 months. My timing has always been horrible. I'd rather be safe than sorry. My belief is that within the next couple of years and beyond, they will no longer be able to hide it. And it will be apparent, it will be evident, and unmistakable. But it's also going to cause a lot of devastation. My advice is not to toil with who's playing with the weather or what's really happening with the weather. Because just as I say on this show over and over and over, the answer for you is the same. It doesn't matter whether Joe Biden caused that tornado or a pole shift caused that tornado if you're not prepared to deal with it. It really doesn't matter who caused it or what caused it. So, while everybody's running around because we've got a winter storm moving in, believe me, it moved through here today. It was like, holy cow. What time did we start watching? Hmm? I don't know, it was around like 11 or noon, I think, is when it kind of started, the initial front started to move through. And we went in no time from 38 degrees, I think, and currently sitting, oh, -1. Well, you got it up? Yeah, I updated my graphics driver, so I lost my little thingy down here until I reboot. But anyway, -1, yours says? Yeah, -1. It's freaking cold. How cold? I don't know. Ask Blue when she goes out, because the last time she went out, man, I'll tell you what, I thought she was going to break down the door to get back in. Kind of cold. It's the same thing. Preparing for this stuff, preparing for a tornado. I mean, the stuff is different, but you still need to prepare. And I really hope that folks have done that. I really hope that folks have gotten their stuff together. You know, as I said earlier, you know, I've done what I can. I have busted my ass to try to get us the bare essentials to be able to, you know, survive as much that could be thrown at us. And I will pat myself on the back, and I will say that I think I've done well considering my limitations. And there's a lot of those damn limitations. But if we were to lose power right this moment, we don't have a lot of diesel fuel there. Now we can get it. It's just a matter of getting there to get it, to pick it up, to buy it. But I'm milking that gallon and a half or so of diesel that we have left, and using it to kind of try to aid the electric heaters, because they're running right now too. They're both running. But if we were to lose power, we still wouldn't be completely out of luck, because of course I can still run the diesel heater until we run out of diesel fuel. But even if we were to reach that point, we've got cold weather gear. So, I mean, we will make it. I am not afraid to pull out my white gas lantern and my white gas stove and fire them puppies up and set them on the table and let them produce heat. No, I'm not worried about carbon monoxide. For one, we've got a detector. So, for two, come on. Point of night, but it wasn't last night. Now, I wouldn't recommend getting inside of a plastic bubble with those types of things. But I kind of have a feeling that they'd be okay in here. So just do whatever you can to make sure you're ready to deal with this. The temperature drop alone was insane. And you're saying the actual temperature is -1. Let me see what they say, because that wind is a whipping. They're saying -2 on KMOV. And feels like -28 out there. Here. Right there. Feels like -28. So it's nasty out there. We can debate the weather all day long, why it is the way it is, but it makes no difference when you're trying to survive it. So just make sure that you're good to go. Do what you can to make sure. Have a sip of coffee. We'll get started on tabs. I've got 8 of them open, and I wasn't really trying hard. The latest news that came out that I shared was here, and I went ahead and put that up front. FTX founder released on $250 million bail. I think it was Luke Rudkowski the other day that made a comment about this guy. I think he was talking about how he initially was going to stay in the same place that, Epstein was Epsteined. And so that kind of brought a little attention, in his opinion, to the situation. Well, I wonder what this does now. He's been released on $250 million bail. He is being allowed to go stay at his parents' house in California. I'm not saying anything's going to happen to the guy, but, there have been people known to dismember themselves and lock themselves into a duffel bag, because apparently that's possible. Of course, you got the guy that shot himself a number of times in the head with a nail gun, because I guess that happens. Or you got one guy, I think he was a banker, that decided he was going to go kiteboarding, right? That's the story. He was going to go kiteboarding, and he was found washed up on shore, of course, dead and drowned, in his business clothes. His kite surfing equipment, attire, and whatever else was in the trunk of his vehicle. But I guess he didn't feel like he had time to change before he went kiteboarding, so he just, went in his dress pants and dress shirt and tie, kiteboarding, because that's what you do, right? Watch this. I think what a judge did was give some people some easier access, is what's going on here. So, watch this. Expect it. Because I really do have a feeling that if this cat decided to talk, things would get ugly for some people. Keep your eye on that. Space Force practices for war in Europe. I mean, this is still blows my mind. The whole Space Force thing. It says U.S. Space Force has conducted joint drills with UK, Canada, and Australia, the largest such exercises in its history, to hone its readiness for a hypothetical war in Europe, according to a statement by the Space Training and Readiness Command, or STAR. 3 so-called Space Flag 23-1 drills, each lasting 2 days, were conducted earlier this month at Schriever Space Force, or Shriver, I don't know, in Colorado. The exercises enabled participants to practice orbital warfare techniques, or electronic warfare techniques, or space domain awareness techniques, and, well, this is an oxymoron, intelligence command, Space Force Lieutenant Colonel Albert Harris said. This space flag focused on a what? Oh, this. I thought you were laughing at me because. Oh, okay. Well, that's because I thought it was going to say force and it says flag, and I almost said fag. But anyway, this space flag is focused on. I'll just do it. Why not? On a U.S. European commando scenario or whatever. So we wanted to present the problem in that theater and exercise our ability to win it based off of various problems that we presented to the team, Harris said. I'm making up words. The event marked the first Space Force drills that practiced for European war and just happened to come amid escalating tensions between Washington and Moscow over the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Harris said planning for the exercises began in February, the same month in which Russia began its military operation in Ukraine. Troops were given Europe-specific problems to solve during mission planning and practiced procedures to increase their readiness to win a conflict on the continent, but the exact scenarios remain a mystery. Colonel Jason Schramm said the drills enabled U.S. forces and coalition partners to practice their space combat tactics. Winning in space underpins coalition lethality in other warfighting domains, he said. We will fight in space as a coalition, and these opportunities are invaluable to building the team that will fight together should the need arise. I'm sure many of you are aware that the purpose of NASA wasn't to put us on the moon. It was a military endeavor and still is largely. I find this whole Space Force thing very intriguing. Maybe it's because I've watched enough movies that it sounds cool. But I think we're going to see Space Force, if you will, really take a lead role here soon. I really do think that's going to be the case. As I've said, the battlefield's changed. Massively changed. And if we aren't ready to address that battlefield where it is, then they will destroy us where it is. Because that's kind of the whole point. We'll see. I've been very critical and comical about Space Force. I feel I don't have a choice. The name, I mean, they deserve it. Alone, the name alone, they deserve it. But it's a needed thing. And I get it, and I understand it. And I really do think we're going to see it playing a very, very major role in literally the months going forward. And no, they're not making it cold in the United States. Let's see. Moving on to different conspiracies. What? FBI accuses conspiracy theorists of weaponizing Twitter files. I don't know about you, but this is starting to really sound like a narcissistic, abusive relationship to me. Right? Because don't they victim blame like narcissists? That's like what they do. Right? The narcissist does something wrong, and then when the narcissist gets called out for doing something wrong, they somehow blame the person they were doing it to? That's exactly what we got going on here. Correspondence between the FBI and senior Twitter staff revealing how the agency pressured the platform to suppress certain narratives is not evidence of wrongdoing, the Bureau said in a statement on Wednesday, adding that conspiracy theorists are presenting their activities in a nefarious light. The files turned over to journalists by Twitter CEO Elon Musk show nothing more than examples of our tradition, long-standing and ongoing federal government and private sector engagements, the FBI statement claims. Right. You ought to put that on a cake or something. I don't know. Put it on a greeting card or something. Probably hold as much meaning. It is unfortunate that conspiracy theorists and others are feeding the American public misinformation with the sole purpose of attempting to discredit the agency. Like we need to do that. The statement concludes, reminding its critics that men and women of the FBI work every day to protect the American public. Right. They used to. They were founded to. But they haven't done that in a long damn time. Ooh. Hang on. I don't know. I don't need to look at this right now, but I'm going to. And you're going to hear about it. Due to the extreme temperatures and weather, Republic Services will be suspending service on Friday, December 23rd, 2022. Friday routes, that's the trash company, Friday routes will be conducted on their regular day next week. We apologize for any inconvenience. Well, ours was picked up yesterday morning, so. And all the elves have been found. I know you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Highland had I say we, I didn't take part in any of it. Highland had what was it called? Like an elf scavenger hunt. And they would go and put an elf somewhere in Highland, and then they would give out a clue as to where the elf was. And I didn't participate, but I sure the hell, made my guesses on every one, and I was right. Part of that whole comprehension, pattern recognition thing. Probably another reason people shouldn't fuck with me. I've got one hell of a memory, and I pick up on way more than I'll ever let on I do. I like people to think I'm stupid. In fact, as stupid as I can let people think I am, the better off I am. Something called wisdom. I don't know what to say about this. I think we all know the truth. I think that the FBI and the CIA, I think many of these government agencies just need to be disbanded. Oh, but who will do that? These people are not protecting you. Out of all of the, how to word it, these attempted terror attacks that the FBI have thwarted. What? No, well, probably. I don't blame him for running. I didn't see it. A guy was walking his dog and said it looked like he was almost running. Don't blame him. It was the guy dragging the dog this time, huh? Instead of the dog dragging the guy. We do have an awesome little town. Cute. If I could put a word on this town, it's cute. It is. But we need to disband these organizations. They aren't doing anything to protect the American people. They're doing everything they can to pry into each and every one of our lives. We've got dark times ahead. And we have a hell of a lot of evil at our doorstep. It's crazy. Well, let me do this one first. Russia's only aircraft carrier catches fire. Now, mind you, this aircraft carrier has been out of commission since 2017, as you see in front of you. So, don't know anything. I really don't want to speculate on this particular incident because it doesn't seem like it was much of an incident. There was no damage, no casualties claimed. There was just a fire. And it could have been by people working on the ship, doing the work. And I think that's the case. That whole explosion case that happened just like a couple of days or so ago, that big explosion in Russia, they said there were employees working on it. I debate whether or not that was an oopsie. I kind of think that was I think that was done. I think that was sabotage. This I don't. I think they just had a fire on the ship. But the one thing that just kept ringing through my head was Russia's only aircraft carrier. Well, I'm not a military consultant. Don't even play one on YouTube. But I would think that a lack of aircraft carriers would be a quite sizable hole in your capabilities. Not just for offense, not just going to reach out and touch somebody, but for defense as well, because it's those aircraft carriers that are going to help keep individuals, ships anyway, and possibly aircraft, from getting to your borders. So without those, I think that's a pretty considerable hole. Now, I'm not Secretary General, or what I mean? I'm not anything military, never been anything military. Maybe it's not as big of a gaping hole as what I see, but I see it as a pretty gaping hole. I got to thinking, I ran into this. Navies of China and Russia engage in joint maneuvers. China and Russia kicked off week-long joint naval maneuvers on Thursday near the Chinese coast. Some of the training will take place closer to Taiwan than ever before in the history of the annual exercises, Chinese media have noted. The two neighboring nations' flotillas met up on Wednesday in the East China Sea, south of the South Korean island of Jeju. I think that would be Jeju. I could be wrong on that. The Russian Defense Ministry reported it released footage showing the warships sailing in formation parallel to each other. The Chinese Defense Ministry said the two fleets held a brief operating ceremony for the Maritime Interaction 2022 exercise before moving towards a designated training area. They were led by the Russian Slava-class missile cruiser Varyag, the flagship of the Russian Pacific Fleet, and the Chinese Type 052C destroyer Jinan, respectively. I probably said that way wrong. China and Russia have been holding joint naval exercises since 2005 under the aegis of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a regional security group. The specialized bilateral maritime interaction drills were first conducted in 2012. This makes this year's the 10th in a row. So I'm not going to go through and bore you with all the details, but so this isn't nothing new. It's not something they just started doing or anything like that. They've been doing it for a while. But I don't think they're doing it for no reason. I absolutely think that it's within the plans of both Xi and Vladimir Putin that if conflict were to break out, well, that China would help out with their aircraft carriers, with their ships, because they've been building them like crazy. I don't know where they're at now, as far as how many. Pardon me. But I know they just got started in the whole aircraft carrier game, so to speak, not that long ago. And they have been pumping them out. So, something just to consider. We shouldn't be looking at there being a huge disadvantage on Russia's end because they don't have carriers. They'll make do. Most U.S. House Republicans snubbed Zelensky's speech. I thought this was interesting. says only 86 out of 213 Republican members of the U.S. House of Representatives showed up to hear Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky address Congress in Washington on Wednesday, according to The Hill. The snub occurred after the House Foreign Affairs Committee narrowly rejected the proposal for an audit of military and other aid to Ukraine earlier this month. Zelensky's visit to the U.S. was his first trip abroad after Russia launched a military campaign in the neighboring state in February. What's yours say now? I can't read that. Mine plopped up something weird and disappeared. What's yours say? The weather part. Oh, it just tells you the okay. I don't know what it was. Mine popped up down there. I saw some kind of logo icon. It was all red and stuff. Anyway, look. I think anybody with two brain cells to rub together knows that we have just funneled tons and tons and tons of money and equipment to the point that now the United States is reaching a dangerous level of weapon stockpiles. And if we just keep doing it, we're not going to be able to defend ourselves. And that may be the whole damn point to begin with. But what really gets me is that when Mitch McConnell got up and spoke, he literally said that he spoke on the behalf of the Republicans. Now, I get it. I get his position and all that good stuff. I get it. And I personally have an issue that we don't have over 100 Republicans, at least, that are calling out Mitch McConnell and saying, hey, buddy, you don't represent me. No. But they're not. It's mostly crickets. Why? Because it's a dog and pony show. It's a circus sideshow. That's all it is. It doesn't matter how much you do stuff. It really doesn't. It matters how much you achieve. Right? If you do stuff for your entire life but never achieved a single thing, then what have you done? I'm not saying you didn't work. I'm not saying you didn't keep busy. I'm just saying you didn't achieve it. We're going to be in a world of hurt over all this. We really are. But if we truly had different, if you will, I'll put that word on it, different representatives in government, I think there'd be a whole hell of a lot of them getting very loud and speaking out right now. But we don't have that. You just get a few talking points, a little bit of political grandstanding here and there. They talk a lot. They say a lot. But do they achieve anything? Not so much. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure when people show up at that ballot box, they show up at that ballot box because they expect that, as promised, that when they cast their vote, that the person that has the most votes is there to be representative of them. And that's not the case. That is not the case. There are far too many people going right along lock, stock, and barrel with all this Ukraine stuff, with all this Mexican border stuff, with all this woke stuff. There is too much silence. There is far too much silence. We're way too complacent in this country. And as a people, as the citizens of this country, we need to step up our game. See, that's our fault. And I'll include myself in there, even though I'm not one for playing the game. But we need to step up some major heat on these so-called representatives. And I mean major. We don't have any time left. We have to make every single thing we do count if we want to get anywhere. It's crazy. Anyway, this article here. Germany nationalizes energy giant. I talked yesterday about them discussing the matter, and apparently they did it. I had no doubt they would. German government has completed the bailout of gas importer Uniper, the country's economy minister said, and finance ministry said in a joint statement, I'll get it out, on Thursday. The government now controls 99% of the company's shares. Uniper's shareholders greenlighted the company's rescue deal with the state on Monday. A day later, approval for the move was granted. It works real quick when it's something they want, right? Granted by the European Commission, which was necessary as the bailout is being conducted by an EU member state. The federal government has acquired a stake, 99%, just a stake. The federal government has acquired a stake in the energy supplier Uniper. The state participation serves to secure Germany's energy supply, the statement from the two ministries read. Well, if I'm not mistaken, it's the government's damn fault why they don't have energy to begin with. If I'm not mistaken, Germany was at the forefront and were loud and proud about having the largest solar commitment, if you will. I don't want to say array, but they were at the top when it came to renewables going into their grid. Solar specifically. And now they're hurting? Who did that? Who did all those changes, went to all those renewables? Was that the people that are just at home trying to pay their power bill? Or was that the government? Okay, so problem number one was caused by the government. Problem number two would be getting involved in the United States stupidity and, pissing Russia off. That would be problem number two. Which, was that the citizens that are just trying to pay their power bills fault? Nope. Government once again. So if that's not good enough, now government thinks they just need to take over the damn whole energy sector. Because that's gonna fix it. I fear for you folks over there in Germany. I really do. I fear for folks around the world. But the individuals that are in Germany, the individuals in the UK, I'm worried about you guys. I really am. I don't look to us as different nationalities. I don't look to us as different people. You're a human being. That is all that matters to me. I don't care if you come from Germany, Lithuania, Bosnia, Afghanistan, China. I don't care. You're a human being, and I'm going to respect you like a brother or sister until you give me reason not to. That's how I roll. And so I worry about my brothers and sisters across the world. Because this world ain't about me. I am such a tiny speck in everything. That's one thing I try to hold true to. That's one thing I try to keep myself grounded with, is the fact that I am just but a speck. That's it. And I'm good with that. That's all I want to be. That's all I want to be. In fact, if I could be a smaller speck, I would be. But anyway, keep an eye on this. I think this nightmare is going to be coming to the U.S. eventually, too. And I think that this winter is going to be a big push for it. We'll see. The last tab that I have open, and of course I've got the headlines. Thank God it's Thursday. I think. Right? Okay. Man, I'm telling you. Ever starting with Saturday, I have been screwed up when it comes to days. All day Saturday, I thought it was Sunday. And I've been screwed up ever since. Scotland lowers bar to transition gender. Now, see, we just talked about this not that long ago, you know, when they put this bill in. Remember? I remember. That memory thing I mentioned earlier? Yeah, it works pretty good. Some things not so much. Other things, carbon copy. I just brought you the story about them putting this bill in. And one of the things that they said in order to get people on board with it is that, oh, we're not going to, you're going to have a process. This isn't something that somebody's just going to just flippantly do. You know, there's going to be a process. You're going to have to do this, 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 and this. It's not something that you just, you know, show up one day and say, hey, I want you to whack it off and cut a hole. Whatever. Residents of Scotland can now change their gender on official documents after just 3 months of living as their desired gender, with no psychiatric diagnosis of dysphoria required. Wow. So, lower the bar, hell, they took the bar off. Right? They did. They had a huge bar. It was a pretty high bar. Right? I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fair, right? No, they just pulled that damn bar right off. So, no, come on in. Think of this like the U.S.-Mexico border. Come on in. Insane. Insane. The reasons I get up every day and I push, and I push, and I push. That's why. Right there. My hope that one day I will get to see them again. Not a whole lot of reasons to want to stick around, is it? In reality, is it? You're looking at it. You are looking at the reason I'm still breathing. On a hope. The frustration is indescribable, especially knowing the truth. Absolutely insanity. Anyway, so I looked over, still seeing the picture there, and you know, even if I do redo the video for the intro for the show, those pictures are not going anywhere. I will replace every video segment and every picture around those pictures, but those pictures will not go anywhere. Because I do want to redo it. I do want to use more updated video clips, and you know, I want to actually make it look like I do know a little bit about video editing. I don't know why the hell I let that go through the intro show. Kick myself in the ass every single day I watch it, because I didn't get everything on the screen right? I didn't get everything to the size of the screen. Yeah, Not happy with myself over that. But I will be redoing the intro video probably pretty soon. And those pictures will not go anywhere. At all. Alright, got some headlines here. Let me have a sip of coffee. I will say I made the right call again tonight. I had 3/4 of a cup. When it came time, I needed to have my happy little butt in the seat. And I'm like, I ain't going to risk it. Good thing I didn't. I'd have been out. Fun times. Nah. I guess the January 6th panel releases the final report on insurrection, describing multi-part plan by Trump to overturn the 2020 loss. Here, let me bring this up. I can do that. I can try to do that. Uh-oh. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I don't know if this is going to pop it up. Because it's freaking AP. Damn it, man. That is AP, right? Yep. Hang on. Not Sputnik. AP News. There we go. Here. January 6th panel unveils report describes Trump conspiracy. The House January 6th committee's final report asserts that Donald Trump criminally engaged in a multi-part conspiracy to overturn the lawful results of the 2020 presidential election and failed to act to stop his supporters from attacking the Capitol. Oh, I'm going to have some comments here, and I don't like Trump. You guys know I don't like the man, but concluding an extraordinary 18-month investigation into the former president and the violent insurrection 2 years ago. First off, because I don't believe on starting out with bullshit. If we're going to start out with a layer of bullshit, I don't even want involved. What happened on January 6th damn well wasn't an insurrection. Not even remotely. Furthermore, Trump didn't ignore the situation. And in fact, he did reach out and communicate and ask the people that follow him to respect law enforcement, respect the rule of law. What more did they expect him to do? Did they expect him to run out there and blockade the doors all by himself? What more did you expect the man to do? And I don't recall anything, not a thing, about the words he said, because I've listed multiple times, the words he said about even the intentions that he tried to pass on. None of that. None of that was directing the people to go do what they did. He didn't say anything that could be twisted to that. And I sit here and I think about all the nonsense that's happening. I'm not a Trump guy. In fact, I'm not a government guy. I think it's all bullshit, and I'm very open and clear with you all about that. And to be honest, it's probably all just a show anyway. But I have not seen a bigger line of bullshit than this. It just blows my mind. And I don't even like the guy. I'm not wowed by reality TV stars. I'm not wowed by rich people. You know what I'm wowed by? The Father. That's it. That's it. That is literally me. I know a lot of people talk a lot of shit. I don't. Jen and I had went to two concerts together. Well, I think we went to 3 together, but 2 of them, I know. Jen got to meet Justin Furstenfeld, the lead singer of Blue October. Hell, she got to sit down and take a picture with Matt Ostrander, who was at the time the lead guitarist for Blue October. So, if you were to ask Jen, you know, because you stand in a single file line, the idea is you buy merchandise, you'll get a chance to go up to the table where Justin's sitting and he'll sign your merchandise. Now, I beg Jen to call me a liar if I'm lying. I beg her to, because I want to be called a liar if I'm lying. But both times that we walked up to that table, I walked up to the table and immediately stepped to the side. I think I did shake his hand real briefly, didn't I? Say a couple words. But that was it. I wasn't standing there that moment in front of Justin Furstenfeld for me. I was standing there that moment for Jen. Both times. Both times. It was an experience that I knew she would likely not get again. That's all that mattered to me. People don't wow me. I have met some incredibly famous people. I have met some incredibly rich people. I have met some incredibly important people in my 50 years here. I've done a lot of shit, folks. Some of it I'm not at liberty to speak about. Not that it was illegal. I'm just not at liberty to speak about it. There's whole blocks of my life that I can't speak about. Man and man's things don't wow me. I haven't for a long time. What wows me? Intelligence, capability, eagerness to learn, purpose. Those are the things that I see in people, or don't see in people. Not about how much money you have, what kind of car you drive, how big your house is. Don't care. You're still a human being. Anyway. Just crazy. Zelensky's Hollywood-style U.S. visit a proxy war promotion, says Moscow. I'd say they pretty well hit the nail on the head. FBI accuses conspiracy theorists of weaponizing Twitter files. Oh, I actually read that. Sorry. Russia and India will ditch dollar and euro in trade, said Russian Foreign Ministry. Hungary wants European Parliament dissolved. The U.S. may become net exporter of crude oil, says Reuters. So remember, like I've said before, as you're paying your higher fuel prices, that part of that is to pay for the exporting of that fuel. We get to pay for that. And that's the thing that doesn't get me. All the people that want to support oil, big oil like they do, it makes no sense to me. Let's see. Wounded ex-Roscosmos head claims his location was leaked. And I would say, yeah, he's probably accurate. Now, this is the deal where he was in the hotel, and the hotel was bombed or attacked by Ukraine, and he subsequently was injured. I know it might have been him that took shrapnel to the back, or it could have been the other guy. But anyway, and then I made comment to this yesterday. He turned around, and this could have been fake news, purposeful fake news. But he had made the statement that he's not going to leave those people of that region, that he was going to stay around. He wasn't going anywhere. But he was more or less announcing his location at the hospital. I didn't think that was very bright. But Swiss government decides on third gender. Swiss government, I said that. Ruble slides to April low against dollar. Netanyahu, one step away from comeback as Israeli PM. U.S. rejected top Ukrainian arms request, says Washington Post. Moscow mocks Ukraine's new flag. Japan set to return to nuclear energy. Imagine that. Now, I'm not a fan of nuclear energy, but kind of amazing how all these countries have to take a step back in order to get by. A grain deal only works for the EU, says Russian Deputy Prime Minister. Let's see, I covered that. EU sanctions on Russia have reached their limit, says Commissioner. Kremlin assesses Zelensky-Biden meeting. Let's see. Germany nationalizes energy giant. Oh, duh, I covered that. Hang on a second. I need to refresh this. Supposedly, we're still getting an Amazon delivery tonight, supposedly. Although they got about 38 more minutes on their shift. So I don't know if we'll actually see that tonight or not. But I just wanted to make sure they didn't already say it was delivered or something, because that kind of tends to happen. Let's see. New Zealand PM auctions off transcript of hot mic insult. UK worst performing G7 economy, says data. Russian defense minister visits frontline. U.S. couple faces death penalty in Uganda, says media. I actually clicked on that one earlier because I had to know why. All I can do is tell you what their claims are. Their claims are that they were, I guess, more or less trafficking a child, abusing and neglecting said child. And so that's why they're facing that. Now, I don't know. I can't tell you if that's what went on or what went on. But if that's the case, if that's true, then more power to Uganda. Russia reacts to Red Cross office shelling in Donetsk. Yeah, I guess they're going to get away with that, right? Okay, on Twitter, I tweeted out this YouTuber, and anyway, the guy's name, he goes by like David McCluckey or something like that. I'm somewhere close. Anyway, he does a lot of videos on a lot of stuff, but he really covers these diesel heaters very closely. This morning he had a video that he had put out talking about carbon monoxide and the dangers of these heaters and stuff, and thank goodness, because he is one of the people that a lot of individuals listen to when it comes to these units. And there is so much fear-mongering that goes around about these heaters or anything like that, to be honest. But he did a really good job in his video of clearing it up, giving a good idea of what kind of carbon monoxide output they had. And, he just really put it on a ground level for folks because, man, there are people that are scared of their own shadow. And you should see the people in some of these diesel heater groups, the way they act. Oh, you better do this, you better do this, you better do this. You can't, better do this. Really? I mean, come on. I would be a complete liar if I told you that there wasn't any leaks in that exhaust system on that diesel heater, because you can I could show you where you'd stick your damn hand and feel the air coming out of the exhaust because of a slot that I had to cut to make a spacer. And I showed you guys on the video where I did that. I showed you how I did that. But there is exhaust that comes out that slot from that spacer that I made. I could pull the exhaust loose right now and just let the damn thing run. And we'd be fine. But, again, there's people out there afraid of their own damn shadows. So I'm glad he made this video. If you have concerns about the carbon monoxide output of those diesel heaters, please, by all means, look up David McCluckey and his video. Or just go to our Twitter and click the link. Let's see. Covered that. European NATO members should reduce reliance on the U.S., says Macron. Yeah, I would advise it. I would advise all those nations over there to kind of take a step back away from the United States, because the United States will run them right into the ground, but I kind of think that's the entire point. FTX executives plead guilty to fraud charges. France slaps hefty fine on U.S. tech giant. Russia doing better than many G20 countries, says Putin. Zelensky is a house guest who wouldn't leave, says Tucker Carlson. Let's see. Russia hosts the most Ukrainian refugees, says a report. A Russian watchdog reports on tackling fake news since start of Ukraine operation. We've been tackling that for a long time. U.S. blacklist Russian companies. Vandals destroy prehistoric Aboriginal art. Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I'm not an art dude. I'm not into art. It is what it is. I'm not into it. But I love it just as much as those that are into it for them. Right? Just because I'm not all into that kind of stuff. Whatever. I'm just but a little bitty tiny speck. What I like and don't like shouldn't make a damn bit of a difference for anybody else. These pieces of art in this cave are not these individuals' art to destroy. Not only that, but we're talking about something that dates back 30,000 years. 30,000 years. And these people go in and they destroy it. I say death penalty and nothing less. Nothing less. It's bad enough when you walk into some gallery somewhere and defile the Mona Lisa or whatever. That's one thing. But when it's 30,000-year-old art from Aboriginal people, I say, you take the individuals involved in this, and I don't remember the name of it, but I know that there's an island that we don't go. Because we are not welcome there. And if we were to try to go to this island, the people that occupy the island would kill us. No question about it. There's an entire island like that. Now, I'm not sure if they're aboriginals or what they are. I can't remember exactly where the island is or what its name is, but I know it's there. I think we need to airdrop these bastards into that island. What do you think? That's what I think we ought to do. Airdrop them into that island. Oops. U.S. professor claims he was fired for criticizing critical race theory. So you're saying it was a Tuesday? Unfortunately, crap like that's happening far too much. U.S. life expectancy tumbles to 25-year low. Imagine that. But I thought they were saving everybody. I thought they were increasing our lifespan. I thought they were helping us. Huh. Kherson official dies in car bombing. I've got a little bit of a feeling that this ain't going to be the last of this situation. I think that the tactics being used by Ukraine are going to change massively. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more guerrilla warfare. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more sabotage. Stuff like that. Because they know that on a conventional battlefield, they're not going to be able to compete with Russia. That should be common sense. So you change the game. But I don't think Russia's going to be willing to play for very much longer. Now, that would be too easy, Hexafoos. Splat? No. You give them parachutes. You let them land real nice and soft and cushy. Hell, you can tie some pillows to their feet. Make sure that they have a pleasant trip down. No. You don't want them to splat. That's too quick. You want the individuals that occupy that island to come up with their own little tiny shrunken head ways of dealing with them. Let's see. Not saying that their heads are tiny, shrunk, but, well, you know where I get that from. I hope, because I don't know where I get that from. From cartoons and nonsense. I do know that they used to do something about shrinking people's heads. Hey, I suck at history, man. Especially stuff like that. Let's see. Musk announces new Twitter feature, and I forgot what it was. What was that new feature? Oh, a hit counter. A hit counter. Not a hit man, a hit counter. Let's see. U.S. bans exports to Wagner Group. Europe's largest nuclear plant secure only thanks to Russian army. I would agree. Iran responds to Zelensky's accusations. Russia's... Oh, I covered that one. U.S. Senate authorizes confiscation of Russian assets. A North Korean hacker stole over $1 billion, says Seoul. Nothing. You know, you know how much we sent to Ukraine just today? Energy Ministry, or Minister, assesses when Ukraine can stabilize power grid. Probably sometime after the war. A German Intel employee accused of spying for Russia. Well, he was an Intel employee. EU countries' officials caught in stolen car, says media. Oh, that was bright of them. Marine Corps may drop yes, sir, for gender equality. Or equity, sorry, equity. Well, there's a good idea. Let's just take every single thing related to structure out of our military and go to battle like that. It'll be fun. It'd be very reminiscent of Reno 911, that TV show. No, I never did watch it. It's too stupid for me to watch. But yeah, much like that. U.S. admits Afghan pullout helped arm Ukraine. See, now they're kind of trying to cover and justify for their big mishap with what happened in Afghanistan. Oh, no, we did that. We knew. We did that. We left in there so that would, help us assist. Wait a minute. If they were in control of it, how were we going to get that same equipment that we left over there? Oh, so the whole damn thing's a lie, huh? Damn. They did it to us again. North Korea rejects absurd U.S. claim. Covered that. And this came out a little bit ago. IDF alerts thousands of reservists. Might be something to pay attention to. It said that the overnight calls and texts were an accident. Says tens of thousands of Israeli army reservists received obscure phone calls and messages via an automated emergency call-up system early Thursday morning in what the Israel Defense Forces called a technical malfunction during a planned maintenance. Tonight, a planned maintenance operation was carried out on the IDF dialer system, as part of which a malfunction occurred, and as a result of an error message was sent in English, the IDF said in a tweet. According to Israeli media reports, the robocalls did not actually call up any reservists for duty, but only issued an error message before hanging up. The military also reassured the public that there was no emergency, issuing an apology and wishing everyone a happy Hanukkah. I have a feeling that there's a whole lot of this planet that's going to go hot very quick. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I didn't set out in my life saying, you know what I want to do? I want to spend countless hours of my life and countless thousands of dollars to prepare for some bullshit just to survive. It's just the whole damn thing. It's frustrating. Because it doesn't have to be like this. None of it has to be like this. We got dark times ahead. We've got long roads to travel. Just keep getting ready as much as you can, as fast as you can. The last I knew, potato shreds for $8.14 a can. Let me go look. I know because we ordered 4 this morning. $8.14. So right now, if you don't have any on order, $8.14 a can, Augustin Farms dehydrated potato shreds on Amazon. And get in on that. That is an incredible deal, folks. Incredible deal. Wasn't joking. Last purchase today. Purchased 6 times because we're trying to stock up. You can only, when it's this deal here, you can only order 4 cans. So, anyway, I did the review on those. I think they are absolutely delicious. I think they are a really big deal to have in your preps. They also have a bigger thing, a 7-pound pail, if you want, for like $44 or something like that. But this, when it's this cheap, is the better deal because this is 1 pound 7 ounce, right? You can have. Oh well, maybe they're not. better deal. I don't know. I'd have to do the math again. But they've got a big, like, 7-pound bucket of them for, I would think it's 44 something, if I'm not mistaken. Hang on. Here's the pail. 44.34 right here. Augustin Farms dehydrated potato shreds. So 44.34 for a, and I believe that was 7 pounds. Let me double check. I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, 7 pounds. So 7 pounds of the dehydrated potato shreds if you buy it in the 7 pound bucket, or you're looking at $8.14 per number 10 can, which is whatever I said it was, 1 pound 7 ounces. So get in on it while you can, as many times as you can. I do feel obligated to let you know about this. They're, right now, if you order right this second, they're saying delivery is going to be between January 15th and February 14th. Even on an earliest date, you're talking about over a half a month away. So please understand that when you're placing your order. It is what it is. And I would rather get our chips down on some, so to speak, and hope that we get them, than just say, well, I'm not even going to try to get them because it's going to take too long. Don't do that. We don't know how long we got. Yeah, sure, you could be pissing money away, but is it going to matter? If you bought 4 cans of this right now and tomorrow things went to shit, is that really? Is that money you were out really going to matter at that point? I don't think so. Good things come to those who wait. So anyway, that's what I got for you. I'm tired. I want to get off of here. Holy cow, this is the longest I've done a show in a while, I think. Totally unintentional. Do me a favor, please. Pray for the people of the world. Everybody. All of them. And if you can find an extra moment, an extra prayer, please make that one of them. I miss them guys more than you could ever imagine. And when I have bullshit that happened like last night, it brings it all back. If you've not lost everything in life, I probably wouldn't think that I know what someone else might do that has. To put it simply, I wouldn't fuck with somebody like me. Anyway, hope you all have a good night. Many prayers you want to throw my way, possible, please. I could use them. I normally never ask for that. I need some prayer. I need some prayer. Lots of it. I'm out of here. God willing. God willing. I'd be back Sunday. We'll start another week of this nonsense. I hope you all have a good weekend. If you choose to celebrate the Christmas holiday, or anything, Hanukkah, anything, whatever you want to call it, have a great one. Please. Please. There was a guy that made a viral video, I don't know, a couple, 2-3 years ago by the name of Bill Bunting. And I follow him on Facebook. And he could probably use some prayers too, please. Bill Bunting, he lost his daughter very recently, 27 years old. I really don't know a whole lot of details. I don't know what her situation was other than what Bill had stated, that she had had a seizure and they spent like 4 hours trying to work on her and nothing. He could probably use some prayer too. It's not fun going through life without your children, and it's even worse when it's all over a bunch of fucking bullshit. And I'm just getting so tired of people's bullshit with me. Anyway, I'm out of here. Please enjoy your loved ones for this holiday season. Try, if you are going to celebrate the holiday, try to at least take one of those days and throw all this crap out of your head and just enjoy your time. Please. Do it for me. I can't do it. Do it for me. Anyway, I hope to see you all on Sunday. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. Shalom.